If you are looking for the most sought after provincial nominee program that doesn't require a job offer, then watch this video on Ontario Human Capital Priority Stream. Ontario is Canada's most popular landing destination for immigrants from around the world, and nearly 40% of Canadians call Ontario their home. Because of its job opportunities, high income, and diverse population, many immigrants choose to land in Ontario compared to any other province in Canada. The province has a high employment rate. Immigrant retention rates are also high, with over 93% of newcomers choosing to stay in Ontario. Ontario has several provincial nominee programs, and I'll be talking about the Express Entry Human Capital Priorities stream. All links mentioned in this video will be in the description below for your reference. Before I proceed, please consider subscribing to my channel, press the bell icon, and hit the like button. Your support helps me create more videos on Canada immigration. The Human Capital Priorities stream targets foreign skilled workers in the Express Entry pool with the necessary education, work experience, language proficiency, and other characteristics to issue notification of interest. To be considered under this stream, you must be in the Express Entry pool under either the Federal Skilled Worker Program or the Canadian Experience class. You can only apply to this stream if you receive a notification of interest from Ontario. The OINP searches the Express Entry pool and identifies potential candidates who meet the stream's minimum comprehensive ranking system in the Express Entry pool and also meet the criteria of Ontario's Human Capital Priorities stream. Candidates identified by the OINP will receive a notification of interest. Upon receiving a notification of interest, you can apply online to the OINP for nomination under the Human Capital Priorities stream. You will have 45 days to apply to the OINP under this stream from the date of notification. If your application is approved, you will receive a notification of your nomination from Ontario, and later you can apply for PR. There is no set CRS minimum score for the Human Capital Priorities stream. Instead, it can vary from draw to draw. Moving to the OINP HCP requirements. To be considered for the Ontario HCP stream, you must have an active Express Entry profile in the Federal Express Entry pool. I have created a video on how to create an Express Entry profile. I will leave the link to the video in the description. You must meet the criteria of at least one of the federal immigration programs, that is the Canadian Experience class or the Federal Skilled Worker program. You should have expressed interest to live and work in Ontario or all Canadian provinces on your Express Entry profile. You should have at least 1 year of continuous full-time work experience in skill type 0, A or B in the last 5 years outside Canada for federal skilled worker candidates. Continuous work means there should be no gaps between periods of employment. For example, if you decided to switch jobs and quit your job on June 27th and started another job on June 28th, it's considered as continuous work. But if you quit your job on June 27th, started another job on June 29th, it's not considered continuous work. Work experience may consist of back-to-back jobs with the same or different employer with no gaps in between, but at least 1 year must be in the same NOC occupation as the primary NOC declared in your Express Entry profile. Canadian Experience class candidates, on the other hand, must have cumulative paid full-time work of at least 1 year or part-time equivalent within the last 3 years in Canada. Cumulative meaning the work experience must be equal to 1 year. There can be gaps in employment, and work experience does not have to be continuous, but must be in the same NOC occupation as the primary NOC declared in your Express Entry profile. You must demonstrate your language ability in either English or French on an approved language test with a minimum Canadian language benchmark 7. You must have completed post-secondary education that is assessed against Canadian standards with an education credential assessment. If you are applying from within Canada, you must have legal status, that is, you should either have a study permit or a work permit at the time you apply, and you should maintain that status until the time of nomination. You must have enough money to support yourself and your dependent family members when you settle in Canada. Moving to the HCP stream process. After you receive a notification of interest, you can submit an online application to the OINP under the Human Capital Priority stream. Receiving a notification of interest does not mean that you qualify for OINP streams. From the date you receive a notification of interest letter from Ontario, you have 45 days to apply to the HCP stream. You have to apply through the Ontario e-filing portal online. It can take about 3 hours to complete the application, and you do not have to complete the application in one session. You can save your work and return to it later. The application fee is $1,500 Canadian and covers the cost of processing your application. Only Visa, MasterCard, Visa Debit and MasterCard Debit are accepted. Ontario will only refund the fee if your application is incomplete or you withdraw your application before OINP starts processing. The fee will not be refunded if your application is unsuccessful. You also need to make sure you have all your supporting documents in English or French scanned and ready to upload when you apply. If you do not, your application will be returned as incomplete and your application fee will be refunded. After you submit your application through the OINP portal online, you will get an email acknowledgement from an OINP officer. You can check the status of your application through your account in the OINP e-filing portal. If your application is successful, you will receive a nomination approval letter and an OINP certificate of nomination by email. OINP will update the details of your nomination into the Express Entry system. You will then receive a notification of your nomination through your Express Entry account as well. You will have 30 days to accept or refuse the nomination in the Express Entry system. If you accept, you will receive an additional 600 points for being nominated, which means you will receive an invitation to apply for permanent residence from IRCC in the next round of invitations, which are usually done every 2 weeks. You then have 60 days to submit your application to IRCC for permanent residence. You will need to include your nomination approval letter and nomination certificate while submitting documents to IRCC. If your application is unsuccessful, an OINP officer will let you know by email. If you think an OINP officer made an error in their decision that led to your application being refused, you may ask for an internal review. The OINP HCP application processing time varies for each individual applicant and can take anywhere between 60 to 90 days. You need to scan and upload copies of the following mandatory documents with your application. Notification of interest from Ontario. Identity documents like your passport and driver's license. Status documents in Canada if you are applying within Canada like study permit or work permit. Education documents. Either a Canadian degree certificate or a education credential assessment document. Language test results. Documents to support your employment in Ontario if applicable. Your work history, work reference letters from your current and previous employment. Documents to demonstrate that you meet the settlement funds requirements, like the proof of funds letter. Documents if you and your spouse or common law partner have relatives in Canada. Your latest resume. Depending on your application, other supporting documents if applicable. You have to submit similar identity documents for dependent family members like their passport or driver's license or any government issued ID. I hope this video was helpful. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share this video and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to receive notifications on upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.